Asian shares are mostly trading lower on Friday, even as a rally in technology stocks led by Nvidia and Intel pushed Wall Street to new record highs. Hong Kong's Hang Seng and Australia's ASX are trading higher, while most other markets are lower. On currencies, the US dollar is stronger against the South Korean won, flat against the Singapore and Hong Kong dollars, and weaker against the Japanese yen and the Thai baht. The Australian dollar, meanwhile, is trading lower against the greenback. In commodities, gold is trading higher while oil prices move lower. In cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is down 0.4% and Ethereum is lower by more than 1%. Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez and this is Business Brief. The Ombudsman orders the 6-month preventive suspension of 16 DPWH employees. This is in connection with the anomalous flood control projects in Bulacan. The decision was released by the DPWH on Friday and is effective immediately. President Bongbong Marcos himself discovered questionable flood control projects in the province. This has led to investigations by both houses of Congress and the establishment of an independent body to probe infrastructure projects. Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldy has been ordered to return to the Philippines within 10 days. This after House Speaker Faustino Bodjie revoked his travel clearance. The House leader warns that failure to comply with this directive within the prescribed period will be construed as a refusal to subject himself to the processes of the House of Representatives. This may result in the initiation of appropriate disciplinary and legal actions. Ko has been implicated in the flood control scandal, but the former chair of the House Appropriations Committee has denied this. GSIS President and General Manager Jose Arnulfo Wick Veloso welcomes the lifting of his suspension by the Office of the Ombudsman. In a statement, Veloso said the findings of the Ombudsman affirm that there is insufficient ground to believe that his continued service would prejudice the ongoing investigation. He also sees it as recognition of the professionalism and integrity with which he has conducted himself throughout his tenure. Back in July, Veloso and 6 others were suspended for the purchase of 1.45 billion pesos in preferred shares from Alternagy Holdings Corporation without the approval of the GSIS board. Manufacturers are being burdened by what is being called a corruption tax of 25%. Elizabeth Lee, chairperson of the Federation of Philippine Industries, tells BNC's Business 360 that legitimate businesses participating in biddings often pay additional fees to meet requirements.
But if I were to just break it down, legitimate businesses who will decide to participate in bidding, you would have costs for even securing, let's say, the bid contract, your testings and your some of the metrics that you need to hurdle, there will be additional costs. There would be delays. Even if you deliver the
President Noynoy Aquino, the BOC staff opposed digitalization efforts to reduce corruption.
I actually visited customs and I was saying, you know, why don't we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Why don't we copy what works? For example, like Singapore, why don't we copy what works? So digitalization of processes, etc. So the main thing was there were computers. And I just said, well, we just computerized, you know, streamline everything. And one of the ladies there was telling me, she said, Ma'am, hindi uubra ang computer. And I said, what? Why not? Tapos sabi niya, asin lang ang katapat niyan. That's what he said. So I didn't understand what it was, but what some bad actors do is just put salt on your keyboard and it'll rust. And some of them actually put food where the cables are. So
self-sabotaging,
yes.
People delaying progress, people delaying automation, because
yes.
automation at the BOC would really help solve a lot of the flaws in the system.
Because you can't negotiate with a computer.
A global ratings agency is keeping its vote of confidence in the Philippines, crediting a strong and stable banking system. This is among the main factors behind the favorable report from the Japan Credit Rating Agency. That's according to the Bangko Sentral, which says that JCR cites the country's stable financial system as a key driver for the Philippines' sustained investment-grade credit rating of A- with a stable outlook. The agency also highlights strong loan growth, a lower non-performing loans ratio, and capital adequacy ratios that are well above both Philippine and international standards. BSP Governor Eli Remolona says the central bank continues to implement policies that promote robust capitalization and sound risk management among banks. He adds that these measures support financial stability and further build confidence in the domestic financial system. We're taking a short break. You're watching Business Brief. Business Brief, companies are stepping up buybacks as a signal to investors, with another property giant joining the trend. Ayala Land Incorporated says it acquired a total of 3.3 million common shares on Thursday. About 300,000 shares were bought at 26 pesos and 75 centavos each, while 3 million shares were acquired at 26 pesos and 95 centavos. After the transaction, outstanding shares stood at around 14.54 billion, while treasury shares rose to more than 2.16 billion. The housing backlog in the Philippines is at 2.2 million as of 2022 and may increase to around 3.3 million by end of 2028. That's according to Pag-IBIG Fund. On BNC's Business 360, Chief Executive Officer Marilena Costa said Pag-IBIG plans to finance 700,000 units by 2028 to address this backlog, working closely with private developers.
The private sector plays a very critical role actually in housing, in solving our shelter program, because they are the ones who generate the inventory. For Pag-IBIG Fund, we are not involved in direct production, but we make affordable housing finance readily available.
Acosta stressed the massive demand for affordable and low-cost housing, which comprises 95% of Pag-IBIG's portfolio. To address this, Pag-IBIG Fund aims to increase its affordable housing portfolio to 50% of its total loans over the next 10 years. The Bangko Sentral has approved new rules on large cash transactions. Under Monetary Board Resolution 929, cash payouts above 500,000 pesos or the equivalent in foreign currency must be done through checks, bank transfers, or digital payment systems. The BSP says banks and other financial institutions must implement enhanced due diligence to detect and prevent money laundering, terrorism financing, and other illegal activities. Customers may still withdraw large amounts in cash if they provide additional identification or proof of legitimate purpose. Failure to comply will trigger suspicious transaction reports. The new rules will take effect 15 calendar days after publication. BDO Unibank senior officers purchased 72,000 common shares under the employee stock program. In its disclosure, 5 eligible senior officers bought the shares with the stock transfer agent processing certificates in their names. The shares come from BDO's primary shares, bringing issued and outstanding common shares to 5.3 billion as of September 15. Public float remains at 44.20% and foreign ownership stands at 28.34%. China's biggest EV maker is turning up the competition in the Philippine auto market as the shift to electrification gains speed. As the race to electrification accelerates, BYD introduces a new player in the mid-size SUV segment, combining innovation, sustainability, and strategic market positioning with a new Tang plug-in hybrid. Our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga, has the story.
Listening to their customers. That's the clear message from Bilyonaryo heir Jaime Alfonso Zaldy Ayala at the official launch of the BYD Tang plug-in hybrid in the Philippines. Its fully electric version already hit local roads last year.
AC Mobility and BYD are bringing world-class technology to the Philippines, reinforced by the infrastructure and support that make adoption a natural choice for Filipinos, giving them confidence that comes from knowing there is a complete ecosystem around them, from charging hubs to customer care to long-term sustainability. Now, we understand that behind every decision to embrace new mobility is a family, a livelihood.
Kilometers with pure EV. And once your battery is depleted, the engine comes in and recharges the battery. Within Metro Manila, you're not going to spend a single centavo in fuel, as experienced by DMI owners.
Before the big reveal, BNC Mobility had the chance to take the Tang for a spin, driving all the way from Manila to Bataan. It was a true road test. City traffic, highways, steep climbs, downhill stretches, even rugged back roads. On the global stage, BYD is already a major player in the new energy vehicle game. And here at home, they've already sold over 10,000 units in the Philippine market.
Our role is to guide every market on its own journey, offering the right solutions at the right time, so customers can move forward with confidence toward full electrification.
In their 4th vehicle launch this year, BYD promises to still be at the forefront of battery electric vehicles, coupled with DMI tech, which they say is the first step to experience it. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
The business community is mourning the loss of one of its most respected leaders. FINMA Group Chairman Emeritus Oscar Hilado has passed away. Starting as executive assistant to FINMA founder Ramon Del Rosario, Hilado rose to become a key leader in the group's nearly 70-year history. His exceptional financial expertise guided FINMA through challenges and new opportunities, impacting both the business community and civic society. His wake will be held from September 20 to 21 at the Heritage Park in Taguig and September 22 to 23 at the 5th at Rockwell, with masses at 7 p.m. The final Mass and interment will be on September 24. Instead of flowers, donations can be made to FINMA Foundation in support of his advocacies. We're taking another breather. Look at how Philippine shares did today when we return. Stay tuned. Microsoft plans to build a second massive artificial intelligence data center in Wisconsin. This brings its spending in the state to more than $7 billion. This is in addition to the data center in Mount Pleasant in the southeastern part of the state. The tech firm said that the site would eventually house the world's most powerful AI supercomputer, connecting hundreds of thousands of powerful chips from NVIDIA.
We are growing, jobs are growing, computing is growing, and it is an extraordinary thing. Let me just share why it's so extraordinary. When the data center that you've seen rising up in Mount Pleasant goes live early next year, it will house what is literally the most powerful supercomputer on planet Earth. In fact, that building will have a supercomputer that is 10 times more powerful than any supercomputer anywhere in the world. Made in Wisconsin.
An unprecedented move in Europe. Albania has just introduced an AI minister to help run its government. The new AI minister was revealed on Thursday in a video shown to lawmakers in parliament. Last week, re-elected Prime Minister Edi Rama appointed a bot named Ayala, which is the Albanian word for son, to manage and award winning bids to private companies. The move aims to address corruption concerns as the country's image has been tarnished by scandals.
I am not here to replace people, but to assist them. Truly, I do not have citizenship, nor do I have any personal ambition or interests. I only have data, a thirst for knowledge, and algorithms dedicated to serving citizens impartially, transparently, and tirelessly. Isn't this precisely the spirit of constitutional democracy, exercising power in the service of everyone, free from bias, discrimination, client bias, nepotism, or corruption?
But the opposition says the use of the so-called AI minister is unconstitutional, as the bot is not human, does not hold Albanian nationality, and could even lead to more corruption. Philippine shares closed the week higher, extending gains for the fourth straight trading day. The PSEI rises 0.5% to 62.64, making it the second best performer in Asia. Sectoral indices end mixed, with financials leading the gains at 2%, while industrials fall the most, down 0.6%. Decliners outnumber advancers 105-93, with value turnover reaching 14.3 billion pesos. Week on week, the PSEI gains 2.5%. The most active stocks and the mix, with BDO Unibank up nearly 5% and SM Prime Holdings down more than 1%. In currency markets, the Philippine peso trades at 57.19 against the dollar, weaker than the previous close of 57.06. That's a wrap for today's Business Brief. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Join us again next week as we bring you the stories that help you plan your next big, bold moves in business. Only here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. I'll see you then.